यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन 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 यमुनतीरावनचारी यमुनतीरावनचारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण। हरे कृष्ण Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna. We are very happy to have the association of His Holiness Bhakti Vikas Swami Maharaj. So, a few requests. During the class, all cell phones should not ring. It should not be on sound mode. It should not be working. Except one, the one recording. Please. So no phones, please switch off or silent mode. And another request, no taking pictures of Maharaj during the lecture. No taking photos, pictures. Everything can be done after class. Thank you. Point to Shravana. Point to Shravana. Hearing, please give your full attention. Please avoid any distraction, any kind of noise. Maybe all of you can also come forward so you can make space for others. There's already people standing at the back. No, please don't come near the camera. Middle, if you can make space, and Matajis, if you can move front. I'm sure other devotees will be coming during the program. No photos and no cell phones. Thank you.
It's not straight. Thank you. Hare Krishna. পেছন থেকে দিচ্ছেন no training. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sri Caitanya-charitamrta of Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, translation and commentary by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Madhya Lila, chapter 19, text 152. Mali. Hoya, this is pronounced Hoya. If you look at the spelling, it doesn't look like that, but it's pronounced Hoya. Hoya. Kore. Shri. Bij. Aropan. Shravan. Kirtan. Jale. Kore. Shichan. Mali Hoya. Kore Shri. Bij Aropan. Shravan Kirtan Jale Kareye Shechan. It would make more sense if the board was turned a little bit, wouldn't it? Buddhi Yoga. Mali hoya kore she bijaropan. Shravan kirtan jale kore she chan. Mali hoya kore she bijaropan. Shravan kirtan jale kare shechan. Someone else? Mali hoya kare she bijaropan. Shravan jale. Mali haya kare she bijaropan.
Shravan kirtan jale kare sechan.
Shravan kirtan jale kare shechan. Anyone else? Ladies? Mali haya kare she bijaropan. Shravan kirtan jale kare she. Mali hoya. You all know what Mali means. Gardener. So Mali hoya means becoming a gardener. Kore, does. She, that. Bij, you know what it means. Seed. But this particularly refers to the seed of devotional service. Aropan, sowing. Shravan, of hearing. Kirtan, of chanting. Jale, with the water. Kore, does. Shechan, sprinkling. Translation. When a person receives the seed of devotional service, he should take care of it by becoming a gardener and sowing the seed in his heart. If he waters the seed gradually by the process of Shravan and Kirtan, hearing and chanting, the seed will begin to sprout. Purport: to live with devotees or to live in a temple means to associate with the Shravan Kirtan process. Sometimes neophyte devotees think that they can continue the Shravan Kirtan process without worshipping the deity. But the execution of such Shravan Kirtan is meant for highly developed devotees like Haridas Thakur, who engaged in the Shravan Kirtan process without worshipping the deity. However, one should not falsely imitate Haridas Thakur and abandon deity worship just to try to engage in Shravan Kirtan. This is not possible for neophyte devotees. The word Guru Prasad indicates that the spiritual master is very merciful in bestowing the boon of devotional service upon the disciple. That is the best possible gift the spiritual master has to offer. Those with a background of pious life are eligible to receive life's supreme benefit, and to bestow this benefit, the Supreme Personality of Godhead sends his representative to impart his mercy. Endowed with the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the spiritual master distributes the mercy to those who are elevated and pious. Thus, the spiritual master trains his disciples to render devotional service unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is called Guru Kripa. It is Krishna Prasad, Krishna's mercy, that he sends a bona fide spiritual master to the deserving disciple. By the mercy of Krishna, one meets the bona fide spiritual master, and by the mercy of the spiritual master, the disciple is fully trained in the devotional service of the Lord. Bhaktilata Bij means the seed of devotional service. Everything has an original cause or seed. For any idea, program, plan, or device, there is first of all the contemplation of the plan, and that is called Bij, or the seed. The methods, rules and regulations by which one is perfectly trained in devotional service constitute the Bhaktilata Bij, or seed of devotional service. This Bhaktilata Bij is received from the spiritual master by the grace of Krishna. Other seeds called Anyabhilasha Bij include Karma Bij and Jnana Bij. If one is not fortunate enough to receive the Bhaktilata Bij from the spiritual master, he instead cultivates such seeds as Karma Bij, Jnana Bij, or political, social or philanthropic Bijas. However, the Bhaktilata Bij is different from these other Bijas. The Bhaktilata Bij can be received only through the mercy of the spiritual master. Therefore, one has to satisfy the spiritual master to get the Bhaktilata Bij. Yasya prasadad bhagavat prasadaha. The Bhaktilata Bij is the origin of devotional service. Unless one satisfies the spiritual master, he gets the Bij or root cause of karma, jnana and yoga without the benefit of devotional service. But one who is faithful to his spiritual master gets the Bhaktilata Bij. This Bhaktilata Bij is received when one is initiated by the bona fide spiritual master. After receiving the spiritual master's mercy, one must repeat his instructions, and this is called Shravana Kirtana, hearing and chanting. One who has not properly heard from the spiritual master, or who does not follow the regulated principles, is not fit for chanting, kirtan. This is explained in the Bhagavad Gita, Vyavasayat Maka Buddhir Ekeha Kurunandana. One who has not listened carefully to the instructions of the spiritual master is unfit for chanting or for preaching the cult of devotional service. One has to water the Bhaktilata Bij after receiving instructions from the spiritual master. Om Jnanatmirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namashashtam Manamapi Shakchi Putram Atra Surupam Rupam Tasyagrajam Urupurim Maturim Goshtavartim Radha Kundam Girivaramaho Radhika Madhavasham Praptar Yasya Pratita Kripaya Shri Gurum Tam Natosmi Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Ataf Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavans Chashi Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Caitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitascha Guru Vaishnava Bhagavan Tina Smarane Hoy Vigna Vinashan Anayashe Hoy Nijavanchita Puran Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Many important instructions in this purport. The discussion centers around mercy, especially the mercy of the spiritual master, which is received from Krishna. To put this verse in context, if you're not aware of it, please become aware of it, because it's essential for understanding this in advancement of devotional service. The context is the previous verse, well-known verse, Brahmanda Brahmite Kono Bhagyavan Jeev Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhaktilata Bij. Here, Srila Prabhupada gives the translation as follows, an expanded translation. According to their karma, all living entities are wandering through the entire universe. Some of them are being elevated to the upper planetary systems, and some are going down into the lower planetary systems. Out of many millions of wandering living entities, one who is very fortunate gets an opportunity to associate with the bona fide spiritual master by the grace of Krishna. By the mercy of both Krishna and the spiritual master, such a person receives the seed of the creeper of devotional service. And then the verse which we just read, Mali hoya kore shei bij aropan, Shravan kirtan jale kore shechan. When a person receives the seed of devotional service, he should take care of it by becoming a gardener and sowing the seed in his heart. If he waters the seed gradually by the process of Shravan and Kirtan, hearing and chanting, the seed will begin to sprout. This is a discussion of mercy. Mercy is a prominent principle. The concept of kripa, mercy, or here it's given as prasad, Guru Krishna prasade pai bhakti lata bij. It's prominent in Vaishnavism. In that sense, it differs from the karma or jnana or yoga process in which one thinks one can elevate oneself by one's own effort. But in Vaishnavism, kripa is emphasized. Of course, in other systems also, the understanding is that one has to take direction from a guru, but especially the mercy is emphasized in Vaishnavism, especially in Gauriya Vaishnavism, in Tengalai Sri Vaishnavism especially. It's emphasized a lot, and we see so much in Caitanya-charitamrta. Mahavadanya avatar, the most munificent avatar is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is very famous for his mercy upon Jagai and Madhai, and actually so many others throughout Caitanya-charitamrta. Actually everyone who Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came in contact with, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu showered his mercy. Kripa avatar. All the avatars are merciful, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu most of all. There are so many instances. Vasudev, Vipra, who was struck with leprosy, but who was very kind to all the worms on his body. He got the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. How did he get the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Anyone know? Anyone reads Caitanya-charitamrta? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu hugged him. Alright, if I hug you, what will happen? Or if you hug someone, it's not just hugging, then what happened? The leprosy went away. Yeah, but that's not the real manifestation of mercy. As Vasudev Vipra said, he was actually concerned that now I've got a nice body, maybe I'll become proud. So the real mercy was that he gave him pure devotional service. There's so many cases when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was journeying from Orissa to Bengal. He had to cross one area where there was a fierce Muslim king, and that Muslim king heard of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, came to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and got his mercy. So there's so many instances. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes are full of mercy, and we often like to hear the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which is very good. But Caitanya-charitamrta isn't just stories that we hear. There's a lot of important instruction. The stories are all intertwined with instruction. His great mercy, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's maybe his greatest mercy, was upon the Mayavadis of Varanasi. Shabe Airailo Matra Kashir Mayavadi. That everyone was caught by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy net except the Mayavadis of Varanasi. So how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went there and he gave his mercy, but his mercy was that he brought them into devotional service, but it wasn't some magic trick. Of course he showed his spiritual effulgence, but it was by discussion that he exhibited his mercy by taking the trouble to instruct them. so that they can understand that their Mayavad is all rubbish. We find also in Bhagavad Gita, at the end, Arjuna says to Krishna, Nashto moha smritiya labdha tvat. What's the next word? Prasadat. By your mercy. By your mercy, I'm now free from illusion. Prasada maya achuta. Achuta, you never get in Maya like me, Arjuna said. There's much important instruction. You can understand from the verses themselves how deep is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teaching and how this is unpacked. These purports that Srila Prabhupada gives in this section of Caitanya-charitamrta, as in much of Caitanya-charitamrta, largely based on the commentary on Caitanya-charitamrta of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Both Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Srila Prabhupada largely translates and integrates the commentary of Bhaktivinoda Thakur on Caitanya-charitamrta, Amrita Pravaha Bhasha, and Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's Anu Bhasha. So here is discussed mercy. The spiritual master is very merciful in bestowing the boon of devotional service upon the disciple. How is that mercy distributed? The spiritual master, here Srila Prabhupada writes, the spiritual master trains his disciples to render devotional service under the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is called Guru Kripa. So what is the mercy of the Guru? How does it manifest practically? The spiritual master trains the disciples. Now you may think, well, how is that possible? Because we see the gurus are moving around here and there. How can he train? Well, moving around here and there, gurus, is nothing new. Ramanuja did that. Madhvacharya did that. Shankara. They all traveled widely for preaching. And they sometimes stopped in some place. Ramanuja for so much time in Melkote, in Srirangam, Madhva at Udupi, and then again they'd go traveling. And they wrote books and they trained their inner circle, and Srila Prabhupada also did that. He trained few devotees who are close to him, and the idea is they're supposed to train others by giving the Bhaktilata Bij. What is the Bhaktilata Bij? It literally means the seed of devotional service. Here is mentioned Karma Bij, Jnana Bij, political, social or philanthropic Bijas can get mixed up. And this section in Caitanya-charitamrta, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's instructions to Rupa Goswami, warns that Shravan Kirtan Jale Kariyeshecha, pouring the water of hearing and chanting on the seed waters the plant, but weeds may come up also. The weeds are the karma lata, jnana lata, political lata, social lata, philanthropic, and they may look very similar to the actual. I'm going like this because a creeper grows like this. Needs support, doesn't grow up by itself. It may look very similar. Maybe living in Bangalore you don't know, but if you go in the country sometimes you'll see plants which look very similar to tulsi. And you have to look a little carefully to see it's not tulsi. It looks very similar. When you go to urinate in the field, which In Bangalore you don't do such uncivilized things. But actually I'm speaking sarcastically, because it's uncivilized to have a toilet in your home. That's nowadays considered civilized. Adharmam dharmamitiya manyase tamasavrita. What is adharma is considered dharma by people covered by tamaguna. This is Kali Yuga. So it may look very similar. This one is very interesting. Philanthropic beach. We have a lot of promotion under the sign of ISKCON, feed the school children. This is the work of ISKCON. We believe that to feed a child is the best way to serve Lord Krishna. Is that right? It is right. I saw it in a newspaper spoken by an ISKCON leader. We believe that to feed children is the best way to serve Lord Krishna. Well, that's not what Srila Prabhupada taught. So what did you get? You got the philanthropic beach. Or maybe the political beach. Who are you all going to vote for? Talking hours and hours, this party, that party. Social beach. Yeah, we can all come to temples, and man is a social animal, as the saying goes. So there's some coming together like that. But the bhakti lata grows on Shravan Kirtan of what? Srimad Bhagavatam, which describes ahaitukiya pratihata bhakti. Devotional service without any cause. Now, Srila Prabhupada writes here, everything has an original cause. So what does ahaituki bhakti mean? No cause. Is that contradictory? Sounds contradictory, doesn't it? And we're talking about the cause of bhakti here. But we're talking about ahaituki bhakti. So what does ahaituki bhakti mean? It means that you're not doing bhakti for any material reason. That everything needs contextual. Many places it needs contextualizing. Did you ever think of that before? Ahaituki bhakti means no cause, but we're talking about the bhaktilata beach, which is the cause of the creeper of devotional service. So what does it mean? So you have ahaituki means it's the cause of your doing devotional service is not anything material. That may be a beginning. Artho jignasur artharti jnani cha bharatarshava. 4 kinds of people begin devotional service. The distressed, the inquisitive, the desire of wealth, and Krishna says the jnani is the best. Why the jnani? Here jnani means, again, we say, karmi, jnani, they're all rejected from devotional service, but here, jnani means one who knows. What does he know? Aham sarvasya prabhavo matas sarvang prabhatete iti matva bhajante mang buddha bhava samanditaha. Here jnani means one who knows and accepts that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the supreme cause of everything. Iti matva. Understanding this, thinking like this, one worships Krishna with full feeling. This is what is imparted in the bhakti lata, in the bhakti process. Now, most people who come to Krishna consciousness, as Srila Prabhupada states here, the Guru gives the bhakti lata bij. The spiritual master distributes the mercy to those who are elevated and pious. Persons like yourselves. You're elevated and pious, and that's how you can come to Krishna consciousness. But at the same time, most people who come, they're artha or artharti. They're distressed or they want some money. Jignasu, not many. Not many people come thinking, what is the real purpose of life? What is the meaning of life? And how many come from the beginning thinking, I just want to serve Krishna? Hardly. Mostly some distress or some desiring money. So if we preach in that way, specifically addressing people's material distress or their desire for money, then many people may come. We may promote that we will do a yajna for you, or you can sponsor a kalash, and then you'll get free from all your material miseries. People like that. It's a good way to raise money. And one way to make money is join the Krishna conscious movement. If you're smart, you can make a lot of money. There are quite a few who've done that. So that you can do also. So we can advertise, we can promote our movement as a social welfare movement, as a philanthropic movement. And people will be attracted, because people are fools in general. So the more pious fools may be attracted by this. But the actual Bhakti-lata Bij means to speak the message of Bhagavad Gita as it is, Srimad Bhagavatam. The message, the effect of speaking the message of Srimad Bhagavatam should be Bhidyate Hridaya Grantihi. Hridaya Grantihi means the knot on the heart. The knot on the heart means Ato Griha Kshetra Sutapta Vitaya. Pungsastriya Mithuni Bhavmetam Tayaraho Hridaya Grantyam Ahuhu. Ato Griha Kshetra Sutapta Vitaya Janasya Mohoyam Aham Mameti. This Hridaya Granthi is mentioned in the Bhagavatam, 5th canto. That the basic principle of material existence is attraction between male and female, and that becomes solidified when male and female come together. That becomes very strong, very Hridaya Granthi, a strong the knot on the heart. The heart becomes tied to home, wealth, possessions, social status, family, bank balance, all these things. And in this way one becomes bewildered in terms of thinking I, me and mine. So the Bhakti-lata Bij, there is a distinction between that which is real and unreal, sata sat, na sato vidyate bhavo, na bhavo vidyate sataha. That which is real is eternal and lasting, that which is unreal is temporary. That distinction must be there. Otherwise, we may be doing Shravan Kirtan, but if we are at the same time thinking of how nicely I will live my life in this world. It's very important for me to live my life very comfortably in this world. Sometimes Krishna shows his mercy by making our situation very uncomfortable. If we actually have the mercy of Krishna, we may find our life very uncomfortable. If we preach like that, we won't get many people joining. And then who's going to build the temple? Many years ago, when the big temple on the hill was being built, I was told that at that time there was a video, that's when we had videos, these real videos with cassettes. That was becoming quite popular. Tamal Krishna Maharaj preaching about how Sai Baba is bogus. He's giving a lecture in Fiji. That was called Gods, Demigods and Incarnations. And the order came from on top on the hill, don't distribute this. Our donors will become upset. So, if you speak the truth, you might not get any money. If you don't get money, you can't build a temple. If you can't build a temple, you can't preach. Is that right? You can preach without him. It's the old paradox. You can't preach because we're collecting money so that we can preach, but we can't preach because we're collecting money. We can't tell people the truth because they won't give us money. If we tell them we're feeding poor people, they'll give money. So tell them we're feeding poor people. Then every day you go out and you're doing Shravan Kirtan. We're feeding poor people. We're helping the poor. We're building the nation. And you distribute and cultivate within our own hearts the karma bij, the philanthropic bij, not the bhakti lata bij. Anyabhilashita shunya. Only fully surrendering to Krishna and being trained how to serve Krishna. There are many points how to serve Krishna. There may be details, so many details we may not know. I've personally seen in my years in India how the culture is declining. Previously people would know such things as don't sit above Shastra. But generally wherever I go, the seat is put higher than the book, so I have to adjust it. You may say, it's just one small point. It's not so small, because how can you sit above the Shastra? Then you think that you're bigger than Vyasadeva, that you're the master of the Shastra instead of serving the Shastra. So this training, much of the training would come from the very beginning of life in traditional culture. That's why he said the first guru is the mother. She trains in so many things, in so many ways. The mother is supposed to train. But then Strishu Dushtashu Varshaya Jayate Varna Sankaraha. The women, they themselves, they don't know anything. They don't want to know anything. And how can they teach their children? And then the children become worse than useless. This is called Bangalore 2023. This is the situation. Otherwise the culture begins at home. Generally one goes to a guru after having, just like it said here, elevated and pious people. Because the training is there from the beginning. And then the gurus, they train by going through Shastra, discussing all these points. There are so many important points. Caitanya-charitamrta, as I say, it's pastimes are there for sure, but a lot of it, a lot of Caitanya-charitamrta is dedicated to discussion of the philosophy of who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, why has he come, what are his teachings. We have here at the end of the Madhya Leela, it's the last, 5 chapters, it's just pretty much all teachings. Teachings to Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, then again teachings to the Mayavadis of Varanasi, which is already there in the 7th chapter of the Adi Leela. So it's very important for Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami sees it very important to give Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy in the form of his instructions. We have his instructions here. What are his teachings? This is to be understood by teaching, by learning. We might think I'll get the mercy of the Guru just by initiation. Initiation, the English word, it literally means entrance into a process. So it's something like if you may be very happy to get entrance into a medical college. It doesn't make you a doctor. After that you have to take training. You have to work hard. Srila Prabhupada, very early in his Bhagavatam commentary, rubbishes this idea of the Guru just touching the disciple and you're getting and then the disciple becomes self-realized. That's the story of a certain Swami whose name was something Ananda. He had no Vivek and his name was something Ananda. He got the bzzz from his guru, who is another Shaktipat. It's called Shaktipat. It's not a magic trick. We have to do our work also. So many times people come ask me for blessings. Yeah. Okay, blessings, but you have to do your work also. Mercy, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy is not cheap, and that is seen most of all in his dealings with Chota Haridas. That was instruction specially for renunciant. Here, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, do you all know the story of Chota Haridas? Are you aware of that? There was some apparent he was a renunciant, and there was some apparent, not very obvious, attraction to some woman. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu totally rejected him, didn't forgive him. So he went and committed suicide, ultimately. Nowadays, they'd lock him up, abetting suicide. But he was so harsh. Vairagi bhai grama kata na shunibe kane. Grama kata na kohebe. What is that? Bhalo na kaibe a bhalo na paribe. Sharvakal. Radha Krishna Smaribe. I can't remember exactly. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's instructions for renunciants. Don't talk worldly talk. Don't hear about it. Don't start yakking when you meet others. Don't dress well. Don't eat well. Always within your heart serve 24 hours Radha and Krishna. Srila Prabhupada also pointed out that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very pleased to see one of his householder disciples that his wife was pregnant. Please said you can give the child the name Puridas. He knew it was going to be a boy. And then when the boy came out, they called him Chaitanya Das. So he is known as Chaitanya Das or Puridas. So both things are there. Of course, Shivananda Sen and the householder devotees of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they're not worldly enjoyers. They're not sakam bhaktas. They don't desire anything of this world. They live in this world responsibly. Shivananda Sen was very responsible. Vasudev Datta was a householder who, in terms of his material dealings, was irresponsible because he was too generous. He would give whatever money, he would just give it all away. But you can't manage a family like that. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Shivananda, You look after him. He doesn't know how to manage his family. So keep an eye on him. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very practical, but he was pointing out in the case of Chota Haridas, rejected, that Chota Haridas had so much mercy from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was a member of his personal inner circle. He would regularly chant. He was a kirtaniya. He would chant kirtan. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would relish that. But he was rejected. Just showing, actually there's no fault on Haridas's part. We shouldn't think like that. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was pointing out that mercy is not cheap. You just think it's like, you just get something cheap. Free gift, something like this. Buy two, get one free. Something very cheap. People ask for blessings, but are we actually ready for blessing? Are we ready for mercy? And that we have to see. Who will dare to pray like Kunti Devi prays? Vipada santuta shashvat tatra tatra jagadguru bhavato darshanam yat sad apuna bhava darshanam. So many difficulties she had been through. She and her family. So many. What is that? Purusha? Vishad. How does that verse begin? Kunti's prayer. Vishan Mahagne Purushada Darshanata Sat Sabhaya Vanavasa Kritchata Mrede Mrede Neka Maharatashuto. What's the last line? Dronashtratas Chasma Hare Birakshita. She prayed to Krishna, just mentioning some of the worst things that had happened in their life. Bhima was poisoned as a young boy. They were given a nice house to live in, which was designed for them to burn in. They ran away in the forest life. Then the Rakshasa, Hidimba, wanted to kill them all, eat them all. Then the worst thing of all, the insulting of Draupadi and the banishment to the forest, so much difficulties, again and again. And then when it seemed it was all over, then again Ashvatthama wanted to kill the only remaining possibility for the dynasty to continue. Wanted to kill Parikshit within the womb. But Krishna saved. Krishna saved them at every time. And then Kunti prays, now everything's peaceful, give us more trouble. Will you ask for that? If your son is poisoned, there's a conspiracy to burn your whole family, and on and on and on throughout your whole life, and then you'll pray to Krishna, give us more. Who will pray? Who will pray like that? Kunti Devi prayed. Because she said that when we have these troubles, we remember you, we see you. When we remember you and see you, then no more birth and death. Who will pray like that? We want to have a very nice, comfortable life, prestige, good apartments that when people see me, they think, yes, yes. Respectable. You have to live in have a big car, at least one, if not two. And you do bhakti. You can do. But can you remain detached? That's not very easy. So, if we really pray for the mercy of Krishna, really pray for the blessings, it may be more than we're prepared for. Then Krishna may not give us. You can live comfortably and be Krishna conscious. You can be. But if you become attached to that comfort, it can be the cause of us being born again. So real mercy, as Srila Prabhupada points out in this purport, is training in devotional service. Training means giving instructions, what to do, and we have to follow. And the whole attitude, Srila Prabhupada mentions in his preface to the Nectar of Instruction. What I always thought since I first read it many years ago is one crucial instruction in all of Srila Prabhupada's teachings, that advancement in devotional service depends on the attitude of the performer. If we're cultivating karma bij, jnana bij, philanthropic bij, political bij, living at home comfortably bij, it is a requisite. Without that I can't chant Hare Krishna. Then it diminishes our chances of becoming a pure devotee. You can live at home comfortably, but if we become attached to that, then it diminishes our chances. Another one is hospital bij. Everyone goes to die in a hospital. Better stay at home. If you have family members, they can chant Hare Krishna. They won't allow that in the hospital. So that's a great boon if you can die at home with chanting, family members chanting, or go to Vrindavan at the end of life. When the body becomes worn out, go to Mayapur, Vrindavan, and then you get a good boost right from there. You have to be very serious if we're going to go back to Godhead. Mercy means there should be some strictness, not laxness. Sometimes we think that mercy is like that. You don't do anything and still you get the result. But the real mercy is to teach us and train us to do what we have to do so we get the result. If you tell someone, you give me 25 lakhs, I'll arrange for your admission in the medical college. So, all right, you get admission. But then, if you don't do your work, or someone will say, I just out of my mercy, I'll arrange for you to go to the medical college. But still you have to do your work. You have to study. And you have to give the right answers. And you have to do the practical. And you have to act under training and guidance. So it's similar in devotional service. So this idea that special mercy, you just get some... It may be. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu showed with Jagayan Madhai, with Vasudev Vipra. But it's not just a very common thing. I'm going to read from the Nectar of Devotion. Srila Prabhupada writes, elevation to the ecstatic stage of life is generally attained through association with pure devotees, while elevation to that stage by the special mercy of Krishna or his devotee is very rare. So Srila Prabhupada warned about this idea that I will get an honorary degree. We hear that someone gets an honorary degree. Means they didn't go to the university, they didn't follow the course, but the university is impressed by their actions and give an honorary degree. It's very rare. I don't think that's done in India at all, is it? Is it? Is it? Oh right, Sahadev got one right from this Andhra Congress minister who died in the helicopter crash. He gave him a PhD. Yeah. Right. So they may give. But if you think, I'll just sit at home and I'll get an honorary degree, it's not going to happen. If you excel, you might be given an honorary degree. But then for someone to get an honorary degree, they're already excelling in that field so much that the degree doesn't really add anything to them. It adds to the people who are giving the degree. Or it's just recognizing what everyone's already recognized. The general process is you have to get admission in the college, study, go through the process, learn, then you can become qualified. So in devotional service also, Mali hoya shei bij kore aropan. Mali hoya kore shei bij aropan. Shravan kirtan jale kore shechan. You get the bead, you have to plant it in the heart and water it, and then we also have to be careful about the various ways in which that plant can be destroyed. So this section is very important for devotion. So many times devotees ask me about advancement in devotional service. Read this section from Caitanya-charitamrta again and again. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's instructions to Rupa Goswami, chapter 19 of Madhya Lila. And this section, it begins before the Brahmanda Brahmite verse, but you can begin from the, and then the purports also. There's so many important things. For instance, here in this section, Srila Prabhupada warns about one may try to carry out a professional business by means of chanting the Hare Krishna or reading Srimad Bhagavatam. And there's a warning. I was saying, if you want money, you can also become a professional, or even within ISKCON, you can become a Bhagavatam reciter, a famous Kirtaniya, and people pay you to go here and there, or you make a big crowd, people come and you get lots of money. But this is upashaka, means a weed. One may desire mundane reputation by making compromises with non-devotees concerning one's philosophy or spiritual life. That covers a whole wide range. Pitfalls of personal sense gratification, just to cheat some innocent people. One makes a show of advanced spiritual life and becomes known as a sadhu, mahatma, or religious person. Whew. So many dangers. Danger at every step. If we want to go up in devotional service, Maya will attack in so many ways. So one has to understand all these things very carefully by hearing and chanting, and go on and on and on, hearing and chanting. We may think, I did my Bhakti Shastra degree, then I did my Bhakti Vaibhav degree. Oh, I really know everything now. But it's a process, it goes on. Just if you get a PhD in, I don't know, atomic physics, it doesn't mean you know everything about atomic physics. Anyone who knows anything about any subject knows they don't know very much. If you actually know. If you actually know a subject, then you know that you don't know very much, because you have some idea of how big it is. And how can we know everything about Krishna? It's a ridiculous idea. So it's an unending process, glorifying Krishna. Otherwise, we can make silly mistakes. Balabhadra Bhattacharya, this is also in Caitanya-charitamrta. He was personally serving Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, going with him through the forest of Jharikhanda, to Varanasi, to Vrindavan. When they reached Vrindavan, there was a lot of excitement that Krishna has appeared again in Vrindavan. At night, you can see him on the Yamuna, dancing on the head of Kaliya, snake. People were going to see. And Balabhadra Bhattacharya, who was living with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu day and night, became bewildered and said, I want to go and see Krishna at night. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this is all nonsense. It was eventually found out that what it was, there was a fisherman who had some light on his boat, and that reflected on the water, and it optical illusion. People thought it was Krishna dancing on Kaliya. In this regard, in one of the purports, it's just in the chapter prior to this chapter actually, I'm going to read from that. The puzzled people who visited Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu were actually seeing Lord Krishna. This is from one of Srila Prabhupada commenting in that purport about this. The puzzled people who visited Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu were actually seeing Lord Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But they were mistaken in thinking that Lord Krishna had come to Kaliya Lake. They all said that they had seen Krishna directly performing his pastimes on the hoods of the serpent Kaliya, and that the jewels on Kaliya's hoods were blazing brilliantly. You see, there's the little light on the boat and the little ripples of water, and so it made so many reflections of light, and everyone thought, oh, that's the gems on Kaliya's hoods. Because they were speculating with their imperfect knowledge, they saw Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as an ordinary human being and a boatman's light in the lake as Krishna. One must see things as they are through the mercy of a spiritual master. Otherwise, if one tries to see Krishna directly, he may mistake an ordinary man for Krishna, or Krishna for an ordinary man. Everyone has to see Krishna according to the verdict of Vedic literatures presented by the self-realized spiritual master. A sincere person is able to see Krishna through the transparent via medium of Sri Gurudev, the spiritual master. Unless one is enlightened by the knowledge given by the spiritual master, he cannot see things as they are, even though he remains constantly with the spiritual master. This incident at Kaliya Daha is very instructive for those eager to advance in Krishna. So again and again we're getting the point that the mercy of the spiritual master is the knowledge that he gives. Guru means teacher, right? One who gives knowledge. So don't be too excited about special mercy. Don't think you can get something cheap. Srila Prabhupada has given knowledge exhaustively in his books. So many books we have to read. I presume all of you have a full set of Prabhupada's books. Is it? Everyone has? Who here doesn't have all of Srila Prabhupada's books? Gita, Bhagavatam, Caitanya-charitamrta, all the small books. Who doesn't have all the books? Yeah. Okay, please put your hand up. So many. Oh. So you should all have in your home a full set of books, right? Every book. Bhagavatam, Caitanya-charitamrta, all of them. Get a full set of books. You may say, I don't have time to read them. Just look at them. Krishna is attractive. Krishna will force you to open the book. And once you start to read, Krishna is attractive, will attract you. So get all the books. Put your hands up again, take the note of all the names. You know everyone here, do you? Do you know them all? It's not by force, but you should take these books for your own benefit. Take a photo, very good idea. Please put your hand up so it can be seen. You may need to take 2 photos or wide angle lens. Put it up so everyone can see. Sharam ki baat nahi hai, lekin agar एक बार आऊंगा और आपके पास से पूरा सेट नहीं है, वो तो शर्म हो. Everyone should have a full set. If your students, whatever, send it to your house. You all have money, isn't it? You all have an apartment in Bangalore. I think minimum is 50 lakhs, right? Is it? For a little hall, you just have space to lie down and a little toilet for passing stool, and that's about it. 50 lakhs minimum, right? And a full set of Prabhupada's books is what, less than 20,000, is it? Must be less. So get the full set of books. Do yourself some good. Okay. I finished for now. If you want to take photos, you can take photos now. Questions, yeah?
Maharaj, thank you so much for the lecture. Krishna is known as all attractive, but my son, who is 12 years, says that some people don't find Krishna attractive. So how do I answer him?
Read Prabhupada's books. You'll get the answer. Anyone has the answer from Bhagavad Gita? What is the answer from Bhagavad Gita? Anyone? Guess. Avajananti mang mudha manushing tanam ashritam param bhavo ajananto mamabhuta maheshwaram. What else? Namang dushkushyo mudha prapadyante naradhamaha mayapa hrita jnana asurang bhavam ashrita paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam. People who are dushkriti, they're not. It's an unhealthy position. The ceiling is painted white, right? Can everyone see? The ceiling is painted white. If you have jaundice, it looks yellow. Does that make the ceiling yellow? So if someone's a fool and a rascal and they're not attracted to Krishna, does that mean Krishna is unattractive? It means they're diseased. The whole material world is full of diseased people. You can tell your son, if he says he doesn't find Krishna attractive, then you're talking about him. So you have some contact with Krishna. He's attracted you at least in that way, that you're talking about him. Yeah, any other question? Does this come in the recording? Yeah.
Maharaj, in the purport,
there's so much in this purport. You could go through for hours.
You elaborated
There's so much in this purport.
You elaborated on the point that it is distributed to the pious and elevated. So my question is why it is specifically mentioned pious and elevated? Because mercy, like Prabhupada's books, if you distribute to anybody, anybody can. Why it is specifically mentioned pious and elevated here?
Pious and elevated people tend to respond. That we see in India, so many people are taking devotional service. More than we find, for instance, in England or Africa. Because people have some background of piety. Therefore they respond better. But by taking the books, that also helps to make them pious. So mercy means, one may be pious and elevated, but that doesn't mean he's a pure devotee. But you have enough sukriti to accept that mercy. More likely to accept that mercy. So, anything else? So we finish.
Hare Krishna. So, to continue the special mercy, I request you all to get a set of Srimad Bhagavatam, Caitanya-charitamrta if you don't have. And also, His Holiness has written several books sharing the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The book I have currently in my hand is Sri Bhakti Siddhanta Vaibhava. Maharaj spent
reference?
20 years researching this book. It's very valuable guidance. Personally, I read it 2 times, so I request you all to take a copy if you can today. And not just this, but all these books. You can either buy the whole set, there's a discounted price for the whole set, or you can look at the books individually. Hare Krishna. So please, the books are available outside, and if you pick a copy, Maharaj will sign it, and you can share the book and get it signed with Maharaj. Anything else? Prasadam will be served upstairs for everyone. Prabhujis can go this way upstairs, and Matajis can go that side, from the other way. So Prabhuji's the steps behind me, and Mataji's from the steps outside the door. So please, if you have some time, look at the books and purchase and pick a book if you can. Thank you. We'd like to also thank Maharaj and request him to keep coming back to our temple. Hare Krishna. We'll chant one time. Hare Krishna. Maharaj may plan for coming for Mangalarti tomorrow, so if you can all join, we'll have an ecstatic Mangalarti also. Hare Krishna.